The Archives is named for Jack Wilcox, who gave over $500,000 for the collection, both during his lifetime and after his death in his will.
One of the wonderful things about the Archives is its great collection of clothes, from this terrific jean jacket, just filled with political buttons, community buttons, representing our history. But I love the fact that you can come in here and see the way that people dressed at particular points of time, whether that's a Leatherman's outfit or Barbara Gettings dress. We don't really have Barbara Gettings dress, do we? But we do have Ian Morrison's heels.
The history is important because it tells us where we've been, where we are now, and where we're going in the LGBT community.
I know that people think that working in an archives is the dullest kind of work you can do, putting things in alphabetical and numerical order. But I love the material that's here.
I'm thrilled that we just received a 3-year grant from the William Penn Foundation for $330,000 that will help us build on the Wilcox legacy.
Over the past 2 years, in conversations with Kay Lahusen and John Cunningham, we've begun to create a series of events that will take place in spring 2015, documenting the wonderful demonstrations that took place outside of Independence Hall from July 4th, 1965 to 1969. Part of the reason we're doing this is to celebrate that great history, but it's also an opportunity for us to celebrate the archives, to take the history out of the boxes, out of the files, and to display them at the National Constitution Center, at the American Museum of Jewish History, at the Independence Visitor Center. So we encourage you to come out to Independence Hall in spring 2015 to see the archives displayed in all of its beauty.
When I pick up something like this, someone's scrapbook, I feel like I'm holding their life in my hands. I'm holding pictures of their friends, of their loved ones, of the places that were important to them in their life. So it's more than objects. What I work with here are stories. Stories of people, stories of history, stories of movements. Caring for all this material here in the archives takes time and money. Your gift ensures that the wonderful resources that we have here will be available to scholars and to young people for years to come. It's probably the most important thing I think that I've done in my lifetime is to help to preserve this material.
I love the Wilcox Archives. It's probably my favorite place in the whole community center because it's a treasure trove of our community's history. I often come up here and wander around the archives and snoop around and try to find new treasures and new things to inspire me. And so I wanted to show you some of my favorites. This is a bar coaster from the 247 bar, which was located at 247 South 17th Street, just by Locust Street. And it was a leather bar, and many of our community's leaders hung out there until it closed in the 90s. We're also really lucky to have the 247 sign down in our ballroom donated to us by Avi Eden. This is a silkscreen for the Dyke March t-shirt and posters. And one of the great things about the archives is that we're able to collect history as it happens. I recently had a conversation with Gloria Cazares, and she expressed to me her interest in making sure that the archives feature the history of trans people, of women, of people of color. And we do have that commitment to making sure that we continue to fully document and represent the incredible diversity of our community. So you might want to look inside your own collections and think, are these some things that if I didn't give them to the center, no one would have them? Those are the kinds of treasures we're looking for. And we're interested in building upon Gloria's commitment to making sure that every community gets to tell its story.
I will remember how you kissed me under the lamppost back on 6th Street, hearing you whisper through the phone, wait for me to come home.